we are covering the knee joint, talking about bones and bony landmarks. The knee is comprised of 4 bones: femur to the superior, patella, centrally located, and our new bone, tibia, which is weight-bearing, and to the lateral, fibula. A lot of people call it the tibula and fibula, but it's really tibia and fibula. So our knee joint is a weight-bearing joint. It's impressive, and the size and thickness of the femur and tibia as it joins together to create this joint is quite impressive. So your femur bone is weight-bearing and your tibia is a weight-bearing joint. Let's cover some of the bony landmarks. The ones in the femur, the superior part, are going to be a bit of a review. Our greater trochanter, our lesser trochanter, and then as we move down inferiorly, we get to the actual knee. And here you're going to find is the distal part of your femur. It goes from the shaft into these rather bumpy, bulgy protrusions. We have a combination of condyles and epicondyles. So it's going to be imperative that you tell me which one is a femur bone, bony landmark, and which one is a tibia. So I'm going to start here on the top. You have your femur bone. This portion here on top is the medial, because it's towards the middle, medial epicondyle. And then right in here is going to be medial condyle of the femur. Some people call it medial femoral condyle. Whereas on this side, this is the lateral epicondyle, and then in here would be your lateral condyle. Now I'm going to take that knee and I'm going to bend it so that you are able to see how large these condyles are. And providing that this doesn't fall too much, you can see that this is the lateral condyle, this is the medial condyle. They are quite large, quite bumpy. And so that's going to take up, this whole thing is going to be your lateral condyle and your medial condyle. All right, moving into the tibia. You have your tibia bone, which is all of this, and it goes to here. This is all of your tibia. So when we look at the knee, we are seeing the medial condyle of the tibia, and over here we are seeing the lateral condyle of the tibia. In front, you have a great protrusion that we've talked about before. This is your tibial tuberosity. That's where those quadriceps attach. And another one that you're going to be familiar with the name, but you didn't know the location, Gerdy's tubercle. Here's Gerdy's. Gerdy's tubercle is going to be anterior but lateral. And then you've got the shaft of the tibia bone. Now we move to the fibula. It is a non-weight bearing bone, and we start with the head of fibula, and we follow it by talking about the shaft of the fibula bone. So really, we have 4 bones and a lot of new landmarks, a lot of new bony landmarks. You can see that the tibia underneath part is kind of cupped. It cups out, it rounds out, and that's on both sides, and that's because these condyles of the femur are round. So if I bend this knee, you can really see that that's cupped and that's really rounded. And so every time we hinge and move, that cupped part of the tibia that's moving rounds around the femur condyles. And so honestly, this knee is absolutely magnificent in its design. On the posterior, it's important to note a few facts going back to the top of our hip, where we can see greater trochanter, lesser trochanter. And as we come to the back side, you're going to see this, this is gluteal tuberosity, and then we start like this blue line. It's a ridge. It comes to a point that the blue line is your linea aspera or aspera. And then on the back, you can see this kind of grayish indentation here and off the back here. Looks like an A, like the top of an A. That is your condyloid ridge. Condyloid ridge. Now you are seeing the posterior side of your knee, and now you get a really great glimpse of your two condyles, your femoral condyles. So since this is the lateral side of your body, this is going to be that lateral femoral condyle, and this is the medial. And now we've got a really good look-see of the contours of the tibia. So this is your tibia, this would be your medial condyle, and right here would be your lateral condyle, and here is the head of fibula. So it's quite impressive. And you can see how the tibia and your fibula work.